Emotional maturity. Wow, that's such an adult thing to say. That'll send a lot of folks running. Sure, we usually hear these as a non-negotiable in a relationship, but that's because it's a necessary part of life. If you want to live peacefully, you need to become emotionally mature. Or you could just, let your intrusive thoughts win and give people some whacking. But we don't want that now, do we? Right? Right? Stay with me here, buddy, because for today we'll be sharing with you 7 signs you're becoming emotionally mature. Or maybe this is the checklist that could or could not send you to the loony bin. One of the signs that show you're emotionally mature is when you recognize your feelings and know how to share them. Remember how back when we were younger, our parent or teacher sat with us to calm us down whenever we threw tantrums just 'cause we didn't get what we wanted? Usually, they'd sit down and explain it to us, like why we weren't allowed to eat glue, and in a way, this was a way to recognize our feelings and share them. Of course, as we grew older, the more we learned, the higher our pride became, which makes it harder for us to relate to people and share our feelings. One crucial aspect we forego as we get older is humility. It helps us connect to others and be in tune with our emotions. So, as long as you keep your ego in check, there's a great chance you're more capable of recognizing your feelings and communicating with them. At least, you know to yourself that your feathers aren't easily rattled. But please do tell me that I wasn't the only one who ate glue, or was I? Aside from sharing your feelings, another sign of that is when you're empathetic. Being empathetic is interconnected to the first one. Actually, everything on this list is, but as I've stated earlier, being empathetic helps you to connect with people. In doing so, you have a common ground, somewhere where you and the other party could relate to because that's what is right. Connection and compassion. Putting yourself in others' shoes is one of the best ways to practice empathy. And I'm not exactly asking you to do what that priest did in that one joke where he held the murderer's hand who was bound to the electric chair, but to pause and think about other people. Believe it or not, being open-minded and flexible is also a sign of being emotionally mature. What is 4 plus 4? 8, right? But so is 2 times 4 and 7 plus 1 and so forth. So where exactly am I going here? Well, they're different equations that lead to the same answer. Do you get it? Oftentimes, we get into arguments insisting that we're right, be it in the office where X is the right way to do things, while another coworker counters that it's actually Y. In life, it's important to keep an open mind, and the sooner you accept that each of us is different, the better, because you'll become more flexible. You'll know how each of us is listed under God's strongest soldiers' list against our wills, so it's better to adopt an "it is what it is" attitude. But make sure not to go with the flow too much, because you're no dead fish. Don't be part of the population that is so bullheaded, all they can see is red. Those who live on my way or the highway vibe. Remember what the emperor in Milan said, "No matter how the wind howls, the mountain cannot bow to it." Do not listen to what that old man said. The only reason he could say something like that is because he's the most powerful man in China then. But that almost cost him his head if Milan didn't step in to save his prideful butt, and so is being able to resolve conflicts. Honestly speaking, there are a lot more instances in life when, you just want to square up and deck people's faces, but not in this chapter. We're not. At least not now. Wait for the occasion to rise. There's a reason why pride is the capital sin. It's because it makes people unable to bend or give way to others. Not to sound too sappy, but men tend to be prouder than women. That's why a lot of them start fights. Women, on the other hand, end them. But if a man starts speaking after her, then you best believe it's the start of another fight. Plus, do you really have the time to go picking fights when you can't even time manage the happenings in your lives? It's best to stay focused, flourishing, moisturized, and to stay on your lane. Might I also add that the best business is to mind your own. It helps keep yourself away from conflicts. But if you feel like using the nose God gave you, then by all means be nosy with it. But don't say I didn't warn you. Believe it or not, do you know that being able to set boundaries is also a sign of emotional maturity? This one more or less has to do with being a people pleaser, which I discuss in detail in another video, but let's focus on this one first, setting boundaries. People-pleasing can be considered a chronic illness in this day, seeing how many people are burned out and frustrated from doing a lot of things they just don't want to, just because they can't say no and fear being disliked. But when you have clear boundaries, it's easy for you to say this simple word. You get to prioritize your well-being and not drain yourself out, breaking your back for others. This takes a lot of practice, and you could start with the little things first. Do you want to hang out later? No. Do you mind doing overtime this Friday? No. Do you want to rob a bank together? No. See, I prioritize my freedom, thank you very much, so that's a hard pass. Out of all the things I listed here, this one could be the hardest to do and achieve, especially if you're in a surrounding where you've been living like a people pleaser all your life. It takes a lot of practice, and as much as I hate to say it, sometimes it feels terrible to say no, but if you don't, then people will just continue to walk all over you. Just start small and be consistent. We all started somewhere after all. Oh, and in case you forget, no is a complete sentence. It doesn't need any explanations. Did you know that forming secure and healthy relationships is a sure sign of that? Being able to establish secure and healthy relationships is a sign that you're emotionally mature, especially in this day and age where anyone and everyone is a little too busy securing the bag and being a little too self-absorbed. You best remember that people need people and no man is an island. It's cliché, but it's true. We're humans. We're social beings. Isn't the recent health crisis the very proof of that? How many of us had almost gone crazy when we were made to practice health protocols? But there's more to connecting physically with people. It also helps if you can be honest with people and just live as yourself. Now, if you're not one of those two-faced people, then you may not relate to this. And by two-faced, I mean those who are busy people-pleasing, but deep down, they're one breakdown away from committing homicide out of anger and pent-up frustration. No breakdown is worth spending years in prison for, okay? Being able to communicate with others your wants, needs, and intentions makes less room for misunderstandings. Though there are some out there deliberately bent to misunderstand you, just leave them be. They're not worth the effort and attention, trust me. Lastly, handling stress is a definite sign of emotional maturity. When that day comes that you can finally smile and walk away from your alligators instead of getting ready to pull an MMA move on them, it's the day that you can claim yourself to be emotionally mature. Admit it. The thing about most of us is we grow up mishandling stress. Heck, we don't even know we're stressed. Maybe a lot of you all thought you had psychopathic tendencies, trying to get back on your nosy neighbor's rabid dog, but the truth is, we just don't know how to feel through it and redirect it. Like many things listed here, managing stress is a learned skill, and it takes time to practice. Who knows, you may be the next Buddha if you reach this level of peace. Mind you, this is a learned skill, so you don't usually get it right from the get-go, and it takes a lot of practice and patience. And no, being able to hold yourself back from strangling your judgmental aunt that one time does not count for emotional maturity. At least not yet. Some of the healthy ways to cope with stress are exercising and meditation. You can even take up a new hobby or a sport. And no, planning arson doesn't count as a healthy coping mechanism. It's important to know that just because being emotionally mature is not a one-time thing, it's a continuous effort, and heck, you may not be able to keep it up 100% of the time. Knowing how dumb you are, chances are you'll fumble along the way. But what's important is you constantly work on yourself into becoming better at emotional maturity every time. So, do you think you're emotionally mature enough? If you are, then I guess it's time to take it up a notch and learn how to stop people-pleasing, especially people who have a hard time rejecting requests for fear of being hated, which you can start watching here.